Impatient couple cuts the self-checkout line and tells my wife she wasn't fast enough, so she made sure they got exactly what they paid for. So my wife Danielle and our kid went to grab some stuff at the grocery store last Tuesday. Nothing major, just like bread, milk, couple boxes of cereal. They didn't even grab a cart because it was only like 6 things total that they could just carry. When they got to the checkout area, every single normal lane had lines going halfway down the aisles. Some lady at Register 3 was doing a price check on what looked like her entire monthly shopping. So Danielle headed straight for the self-checkout because those lines looked way shorter. The setup at this store is 4 self-checkout machines and 1 line that feeds into all of them. When they got there, maybe 2 or 3 people were ahead of them. Not bad at all. But you know how it goes. By the time they were actually next in line, the queue behind them had like 10 people deep. Everyone getting off work trying to grab dinner stuff. So one of the machines opens up and it's their turn. Danielle looks down for literally 4 seconds to shift the cereal boxes in her arms because one was sliding. That's it. 4 seconds. Normally when someone zones out for a second, the person behind them just gives a little, "Hey, you're up," and everyone moves on like normal humans. Not today. This couple, probably like 19 or 20 years old, just shoves right past her and our kid and starts scanning their energy drinks and hot pockets. Didn't say, "Excuse me." Didn't acknowledge they just cut in front of a line of people. Just acted like Danielle and our son were invisible. Danielle's usually pretty chill about this stuff. She'll let small things slide because life's too short. But something about the way they just pushed past our kid without even looking at him made her snap a little. She steps up and goes, "Hey, do you seriously think all these people behind me are waiting for you to cut the line?" The guy doesn't even look embarrassed. He just shrugs and goes, "Well, you didn't pay enough attention and weren't fast enough." I wasn't there, but knowing my wife, she probably did that thing where her eye twitches when she's trying not to lose it in public. Instead of arguing with this genius, she just stays quiet, grabs one of her items, the milk I think, and calmly reaches over and scans it on his self-checkout machine. Just beep, right onto his bill. Then she walks to the next machine that just opened up and starts scanning her actual stuff there like nothing happened. The guy stares at his screen, sees the milk charge, looks at Danielle, looks back at his screen. His girlfriend is asking what's wrong and he's just standing there because he can't figure out how to remove an item. These self-checkouts don't have a cancel button that customers can use. You have to wait for a store employee to come over with their card and void it out. So now, he's stuck. The light above his machine starts blinking red, which means he needs help. There's only one employee managing all 4 self-checkouts and she's busy helping someone who spilled a bag of rice everywhere at machine 2. Danielle finishes scanning all her stuff, pays, bags everything up. The guy is still waiting when the employee finally gets to him. He's trying to explain that someone else scanned something on his machine and the employee looks confused because that doesn't usually happen. But then the girlfriend points directly at Danielle who's bagging the last item. The employee turns toward my wife. The guy starts raising his voice going, "That lady right there scanned her stuff on our machine and we want her to pay for it." Danielle just looks at them both dead in the eye and says, "Actually, you scanned it. I watched you do it." The girlfriend's face goes red and she starts yelling about how Danielle's lying and she's going to call the manager. The employee radios for a manager and now there's a crowd of people watching this whole thing unfold. Our kid is tugging on Danielle's sleeve asking if they're in trouble. That's when the store manager walks up. And here's where it gets wild. It's someone Danielle used to work with at her old job. They lock eyes and the manager goes, "Danielle?" The couple immediately starts talking over each other trying to explain their version. But the manager holds up her hand and looks at the security camera mounted right above the self-checkout. Then she turns to Danielle and asks, "What actually happened here?" Danielle takes a breath and starts from the beginning. Explains how she was next in line, shifted the cereal for literally 4 seconds, and these two just pushed past her and our 7-year-old son like they weren't even there. How the guy said she wasn't fast enough when she called them out. How she scanned the milk on their machine and told them they could have what they paid for. The manager, her name's Regina by the way, nods slowly while Danielle's talking. The girlfriend keeps trying to interrupt, but Regina just puts up one finger without even looking at her. When Danielle finishes, Regina turns to the couple. "So you cut the line?" The guy goes, "She wasn't paying attention." "That's not what I asked. Did you or did you not see this woman and her child standing in front of you waiting for a machine?" Silence. Because from where I'm standing and from what that camera up there is going to show me when I pull the footage in about 5 minutes, you two decided the rules don't apply to you. The girlfriend tries a different approach. Starts doing this fake crying thing. "We didn't mean to cause problems. We're just trying to get home. We have a long drive." Regina looks at her like she just tried to sell her a bridge. "That's nice.
Everyone here has somewhere to be. That's why we have lines. Then she looks at the employee who called her over. Tasha, void out that milk from their transaction. The guy's face lights up like he just won something. Too soon, buddy. Regina continues. And since we're fixing the transaction to reflect what was actually purchased, I'm gonna need to see both your IDs. What? Why? The girlfriend's voice goes up like 3 octaves. Because I'm filing an incident report about customers causing a disturbance and harassing other customers. That's you harassing her, not the other way around. Store policy. The guy starts backing up. We don't have to show you anything. You're absolutely right. You can leave right now without your energy drinks and hot pockets. But if you want to complete this transaction and leave with your items, I need your IDs for the report. Our son told me later that the guy's face went through like 5 different emotions in 10 seconds. He pulls out his wallet real slow and hands over his driver's license. The girlfriend does the same, but she's glaring at Danielle the whole time like this is somehow her fault. Regina takes photos of both IDs with her work phone, hands them back. Then she looks at the employee. Tasha, go ahead and finish their transaction. The couple pays and grabs their stuff. They're moving fast now, trying to get out. But Regina stops them. One more thing. You're both banned from this location for 6 months. If you come back before then, you'll be trespassing and I'll call the cops. There's 3 other locations within 10 miles if you need groceries. The girlfriend starts to argue, but the guy grabs her arm and pulls her toward the exit. You can hear her complaining the whole way across the store. Regina watches them leave, then turns to Danielle. You still got that milk or did they take it? Danielle holds up her bags. Got everything I need. Good. Sorry about that. Some people think the world revolves around them. Then she lowers her voice. Between you and me, that was funny as hell what you did. Wish I could have seen his face when that charge came up. They chat for another minute, exchange numbers to catch up properly later, and then we head out. Our son is buzzing the whole drive home, keeps asking Danielle if she's going to get in trouble. She has to explain like 4 times that no, she's not in trouble. Sometimes you just have to stand up for yourself. I thought that was the end of it. Funny story to tell at dinner parties. But then 3 days later, Friday night, I'm home with our son watching some movie about talking cars when Danielle gets back from her shift at the hospital. She's a nurse, works the evening shift Thursday through Monday. She walks in and her face is doing that thing where she's trying not to laugh but also looks kind of stressed. I pause the movie. What happened? She drops her bag on the counter. You know that couple from the grocery store? The line cutters? Yeah. So apparently the girlfriend works at County General, in environmental services. She's one of the people who cleans the rooms and hallways. County General is where Danielle works. Has been for 6 years now. She saw me tonight in the break room and completely lost her shit. Started yelling about how I got her boyfriend banned from the grocery store, and it's their closest location, and now they have to drive 20 minutes extra just to buy food. Our son is peeking around the couch now, listening. What'd you do? Ignored her at first, but she followed me down the hallway still yelling, called me a bitch in front of patients. One of the charge nurses heard and pulled her into an office. I had to give a statement to HR. Statement for what? The girl's claiming I've been harassing her at work. Says this is a hostile work environment and she wants me fired or transferred. I just stare at her. You didn't even know she worked there. That's what I told HR. They're pulling the grocery store security footage to verify my version. Regina already sent them a copy of the incident report she filed. The next week is tense. Danielle goes to work not knowing if this girl is going to pop off again. HR put them on different floors temporarily while they investigate. The girl, her name's Chloe by the way, apparently tried to get other environmental services staff to back her up, say that Danielle had been rude or difficult to work with. None of them would. Everyone who's worked with Danielle likes her. She's the nurse who remembers people's birthdays and brings in cookies and actually says thank you when they clean her unit. Chloe tried a different angle. Filed a formal complaint with the hospital saying she felt unsafe working the same shifts as Danielle. Said she was scared Danielle might retaliate against her for the grocery store thing. The irony of being scared of someone while you're actively trying to get them fired wasn't lost on anyone. HR called Danielle in for a meeting 2 weeks after the initial incident. I took the day off work to watch our son because Danielle was stressed out of her mind. She's never been in trouble at work. Never even had a patient complaint. The idea that she might lose her job over this was eating her alive. She came home 4 hours later, dropped onto the couch next to me and just sat there. Well, they terminated Chloe's employment. Wait, what? During the investigation, they reviewed her work history. Found out she's had multiple complaints from staff about her attitude. Nothing major enough to fire her on its own, but a pattern. Then when they pulled the grocery footage and saw what actually happened, plus Regina's statement, plus the fact that Chloe lied in her initial complaint saying I harassed her first at the store, they decided she was creating a hostile work environment. Not me, her. So you're good?
I'm good. They apologized for the stress, said they take workplace complaints seriously, but also false accusations seriously. I'm back on my regular floor starting tomorrow. I thought that was finally the end of it. But here's the thing about people who go through life acting entitled. They don't learn. They just get angrier. About a month later, early October now, I'm at work when I get a call from our son's school, the vice principal. Never a good sign. Mr. Holloway, we have a situation with Liam. My heart drops. Is he okay? He's fine physically, but we need you to come down here. There's been an incident. I tell my boss I have a family emergency and book it to the elementary school. When I get to the office, Liam is sitting in a chair looking small and scared. There's another woman there I don't recognize, probably in her 50s, and she's got this pinched expression like she just bit into a lemon. The vice principal, Mrs. Vargas, gestures for me to sit. Mr. Holloway, this is Mrs. Chen. She's Chloe Chen's mother. My brain takes a second to catch up. The girl from the grocery store? Yes. Mrs. Chen came to pick up her grandson today. He's in Liam's class. When she saw Liam in the hallway, she apparently confronted him about his mother. She what? Mrs. Chen jumps in. Your wife got my daughter fired. Do you have any idea how hard it is to find work in this economy? Chloe has a baby to support. She's been crying every day, all because your wife couldn't let go of a simple misunderstanding. I look at Mrs. Vargas. She yelled at my 7-year-old son about adult problems? According to Liam and 3 other students who witnessed it, yes. Mrs. Chen approached Liam and told him his mother ruined her daughter's life. Liam got upset and came to find a teacher. Mrs. Chen crosses her arms. I was simply trying to make him understand the consequences of his mother's actions. He's 7 years old. Old enough to tell his mother to take some responsibility. Mrs. Vargas holds up a hand. Mrs. Chen, we've already discussed this. Approaching another parent's child to air grievances is completely inappropriate. You're not permitted to have contact with Liam on school grounds. This is ridiculous. I'm here to pick up my grandson. I have a right to be here. You do, but you don't have a right to confront other students. If you have an issue with another parent, you handle it outside school. That's our policy. Mrs. Chen stands up. Fine. I'll be speaking to my lawyer about this. My daughter's rights were violated, and now you're discriminating against our family. She storms out. Mrs. Vargas waits until the door closes. I'm sorry about this. I've documented everything. If Mrs. Chen attempts to approach Liam again, she'll be banned from campus except for scheduled pickup and drop-off of her grandson, and only in the designated zones. I look down at Liam. He's got tears in his eyes, but he's trying hard not to cry. I pull him into a hug. You didn't do anything wrong, okay? None of this is your fault. He nods against my shoulder, but I can feel him shaking.
We leave after filling out some forms. In the car, Liam finally asks the question that's been building. Did Mom really get that lady fired? I consider lying, making it simpler, but he's going to hear different versions of this, and I want him to know the truth. No, that lady got herself fired. Mom was just doing her job being nice to people like she always is. But that lady lied about Mom to their boss and got caught. When you lie to try and hurt someone, eventually it catches up to you. The grandma seemed really mad. She is, but she's mad at the wrong person. She should be mad at her daughter for lying. We stop for ice cream on the way home, even though it's a Wednesday, and normally ice cream is weekend only. Some days you need to break the rules. That night, after Liam's asleep, Danielle and I talk about whether we should do something. File a restraining order maybe, but we don't have much to go on. The school handled it. Mrs. Chen didn't threaten anyone. She was just being an asshole. We decide to wait and see. 2 weeks pass. Nothing happens. Then on a Saturday morning, I'm in the garage organizing my tools when Danielle comes out holding her phone. You need to see this. She shows me a Facebook post. It's from a profile named Chloe Chen, set to public. There's a long rant about how a vindictive nurse at County General made up lies to get her fired. How this nurse's husband and son harassed her boyfriend at a grocery store. How the family is now stalking and targeting her family, including her elderly mother. The post has about 40 comments, mostly from people I don't recognize, all saying things like, "That's horrible," and "You should sue them." She tagged your profile. What? Danielle clicks to show me. Sure enough, my name is tagged in the post, along with hers, and a photo of our house that looks like it was taken from the street. When did she take that? No idea. But look at the timestamp. She posted this at 6 this morning. I screenshot everything. The post, the comments, the photo of our house. Then I called the non-emergency police line. The officer who shows up 2 hours later is this younger guy who looks fresh out of the academy. He takes our statement, looks at the screenshots, and fills out a report. To be honest with you folks, this probably doesn't rise to the level of a crime. She didn't make any direct threats. Posted a photo of your house, but it's from a public street.
The stuff she's saying is defamatory for sure, but that's a civil matter. So we can't do anything? You can document everything. Keep records. If she escalates, contacts you directly, shows up at your home or workplace, then we can look at stalking or harassment charges. But right now, she's just running her mouth online. After he leaves, Danielle sits at the kitchen table with her head in her hands. I just wanted to get milk and cereal. I know. How did it turn into this? I don't have an answer. Sometimes you do one small thing to stand up for yourself and it spirals into something bigger than you ever intended. We thought we were dealing with a rude couple at a grocery store. Turns out we were dealing with people who don't understand consequences and a family that enables that mindset. The Facebook post stays up all weekend. More comments pile on. Some people clearly know it's bullshit because they're asking for proof and Chloe can't provide any. But plenty of others are ready to grab pitchforks based on one side of the story. Monday morning, I get a call at work. It's from HR. Mr. Holloway, we've received some concerning communications about you from a member of the public. My stomach drops. What kind of communications? Someone named Chloe Chen has been emailing our general info box claiming you engaged in harassment and assault of her boyfriend. She's demanding we terminate your employment. That's completely false. We assumed as much, but we need to follow protocol. Can you come in for a meeting this afternoon? I spend 2 hours in a conference room explaining the grocery store incident to my HR rep and my boss. Show them the screenshots. The police report from the weekend. Regina's incident report from the store. My boss, who's known me for 8 years, looks tired. This is insane. You weren't even there when the grocery thing happened. I know. The HR rep makes notes. We'll respond to Miss Chen informing her that we've investigated and found no basis for her claims. We'll also tell her that further contact of this nature will be considered harassment and will pursue legal action. They let me go back to work, but I'm rattled. I called Danielle during my lunch break. She sounds exhausted. They got to you too? Yeah.
How'd you know? Because they emailed the nursing board with a complaint about me this morning. Said I was impaired at work and endangered patients. The board has to investigate any complaint they receive, even ridiculous ones.
Jesus Christ. My manager's backing me up. Everyone on my unit wrote statements saying I'm one of the best nurses they work with, but I still have to go through the process. Could take weeks. That night, we sit down with Liam and explain that some people might say mean things about us for a while, that none of it is true, that sometimes when people get in trouble for their own bad behavior, they try to blame others. He's 7, so he doesn't fully get it, but he understands enough to know that the family from the grocery store is trying to cause problems. The nursing board investigation takes 3 weeks. During that time, Chloe posts twice more on Facebook, each time tagging us. One post claims Danielle planted drugs in her locker at the hospital to frame her. Another says I followed her boyfriend to his new job and threatened him. Both completely fabricated. We screenshot everything and forward it to our lawyer. Yeah, we got a lawyer? A good one. Cost us $3,000 for a retainer, but at this point, we're worried about where this is going. The lawyer, his name's Joel, sends a cease and desist letter to Chloe and her mother, demands they stop making false statements about us online and stop contacting our employers. Warns them that continued harassment will result in a lawsuit for defamation and intentional infliction of emotional distress. For about a week, it's quiet. The Facebook posts stop. No more emails to our jobs. The nursing board clears Danielle of all allegations and closes the complaint as frivolous. Life starts to feel normal again. Then we come home one evening and our mailbox has been smashed, like someone took a bat to it. It's completely destroyed, just twisted metal and splinters of wood hanging off the post. We call the cops. Different officer this time, older guy who seems like he's seen everything. He writes up a report but tells us what we already know. No witnesses, no cameras on the street, no proof of who did it. Could be kids, could be related to your ongoing situation. I'll add it to the file. I replaced the mailbox that weekend. Get one of those heavy-duty metal ones that's harder to destroy. Our neighbor 2 houses down, Mr. Patel, comes over while I'm installing it. Everything okay? I saw the police here. I give him the short version. He listens and shakes his head. I've got a security camera on my garage, faces the street. I can check the footage from that night if you want. 20 minutes later, we're in his living room watching grainy footage from his camera. It's dated and time-stamped. Around 2 in the morning, a car pulls up in front of our house. Too dark to see the make or model clearly. Someone gets out, walks to our mailbox with what looks like a baseball bat, and goes to town on it. Takes maybe 30 seconds. Then they get back in the car and drive off. Mr. Patel rewinds and pauses on the clearest frame. You can barely make out the license plate. Barely, but it's there. I can give this to you on a flash drive. We thank him and take the footage back to the police station. The officer pulls up the plate.
Comes back registered to a Vincent Chen at an address about 15 miles away. Any relation to Chloe Chen? That's her boyfriend. The one from the grocery store? Yeah. The officer makes copies of the footage and adds it to our file. Says they'll send an officer to talk to Vincent, but mailbox destruction is a misdemeanor, so it's not exactly priority 1. 2 days later, Vincent shows up at our house. It's a Thursday evening. I'm helping Liam with his homework at the kitchen table when the doorbell rings. Danielle answers it. Through the doorway, I can see him standing there. Same guy from the grocery store. He looks different, though. Tired. Older somehow, even though it's only been like 2 months. I need to talk to you, he says. Danielle doesn't open the screen door. You need to leave. Please, just 5 minutes. I'm not here to cause trouble. I walk up behind Danielle. You smashed our mailbox. He looks down. Yeah, I did. And I'm sorry. I came to apologize and to tell you something you should know. We don't invite him in, but we step out onto the porch and close the front door so Liam can't hear. Vincent stays on the walkway. I'm done with Chloe. We broke up last week. And I need you to know that all this crazy stuff, the Facebook posts, the emails to your jobs, the mailbox, that was all her idea. She kept saying you two ruined her life and we needed to make you pay. I went along with it because I thought I loved her or whatever, but it's too much. She's talking about slashing your tires next. I told her I'm out and she lost her mind. Threw all my stuff out of her apartment. Danielle crosses her arms. Why are you telling us this? Because you should know she's not done. She's gonna keep going. And her mom's just as bad. They feed off each other. Mrs. Chen keeps telling Chloe she's the victim and you're evil people who destroy innocent lives for fun. They've convinced themselves you're the enemy. We never did anything to her except exist, I say. I know. The grocery store thing was stupid. I was being a dick. Chloe was being a dick. And instead of just apologizing and moving on like normal people, she turned it into this whole thing. I'm sorry I went along with it. I'm sorry I smashed your mailbox. If you want to press charges, I'll accept that. We stand there for a minute not saying anything. Then Danielle asks, is she dangerous? Like actually dangerous? Vincent hesitates. I don't think she'd hurt anyone physically, but she's obsessed with making you suffer. She spends hours every day reading about you online, trying to find new ways to mess with you. It's not healthy. I told her she needs therapy and she said I was taking your side. What about her kid? I ask. She's got a baby, right? Yeah. He's with her mom most of the time. Chloe's not really equipped to handle a baby while she's spiraling like this. After Vincent leaves, we go back inside. Liam wants to know who was at the door. We tell him it was someone asking for directions. The lie feels necessary. That night, Danielle and I talk after Liam's in bed. We're both exhausted. This whole situation has sucked the energy out of everything. We can't enjoy normal things because there's always this weight in the back of our minds wondering what Chloe's gonna do next. Maybe we should move, Danielle says. We're not moving because some unstable person can't let go of getting called out for cutting in line. But if it keeps escalating, then we deal with it. We've got documentation. We've got a lawyer. We've got the police aware of the situation. We're not giving up our home because someone wants to play victim. The next week, Joel, our lawyer, files for a restraining order against Chloe and Mrs. Chen. With Vincent's testimony and all the documented harassment, we've got a solid case. The hearing is set for 3 weeks out. During those 3 weeks, we live on edge. I install cameras around our house. Front door, back door, garage, driveway. Danielle starts parking in our garage instead of the street. We tell Liam's school that under no circumstances should anyone from the Chen family approach him or be given any information about him. Chloe makes one more Facebook post claiming we're now stalking and threatening her ex-boyfriend. Vincent sees it and immediately comments saying, "That's a complete lie, stop dragging me into your drama." The post gets deleted an hour later. The restraining order hearing is downtown in a small courtroom that smells like old carpet and desperation. Joel represents us. Chloe shows up with her mom and a lawyer that looks like he just passed the bar exam last week. The judge is an older black woman who's clearly heard every sob story in the book. She reads through our petition and supporting documents while we all sit there in silence. Then she looks at Chloe. "Miss Chen, do you have a response to these allegations?" Chloe stands. "Your Honor, these people have been harassing my family for months. It started when Mrs. Holloway assaulted me at a grocery store because I was trying to check out." The judge looks at Joel. "Do you have evidence contradicting that claim?" Joel hands up the security footage from the grocery store and Regina's incident report. The judge watches the footage on the clerk's computer. Her expression doesn't change, but I see her eyebrow go up slightly when Danielle scans the milk onto their machine. "Miss Chen, this footage shows you and your boyfriend cutting in line and your boyfriend verbally confronting Mrs. Holloway. Where's the assault?" "She scanned her item on our machine without permission. That's theft. She scanned it,
and then immediately told you that you bought it. That's not theft. That's petty at worst. The judge looks at the incident report. And the store manager banned you for 6 months for causing a disturbance. Is that correct? That manager was Mrs. Holloway's friend. It was biased. Do you have any evidence of bias beyond speculation? Silence. The judge moves on, reads through the timeline of harassment, the Facebook posts, the emails to our employers, the nursing board complaint, Vincent's statement about the mailbox, Mrs. Chen's confrontation with Liam at school. She looks at Mrs. Chen. Ma'am, you approached a 7-year-old child to complain about his mother? Mrs. Chen stands. I was simply trying to make him understand the hurt his family caused. He's 7, old enough to pass along a message. The judge stares at her for a long moment. Then she stamps something on a form and hands it to the clerk. I'm granting the restraining order for both Miss Chen and Mrs. Chen. You are to have no contact with the Holloways directly or indirectly. No social media posts mentioning them. No contact with their employers or their child's school. No approaching their home or vehicles. This is in effect for 3 years. Violations will result in arrest and possible jail time. Chloe's lawyer tries to argue, but the judge cuts him off. Counsel, your client has engaged in a systematic campaign of harassment over a grocery store incident that she herself instigated. This court has no patience for adults who can't let go of minor slights and instead make it their mission to destroy other people's peace. Your client needs to focus on her own life and her own child instead of obsessing over people she encountered briefly in a checkout line. She bangs the gavel and we're dismissed. Outside the courthouse, Joel shakes our hands. That went about as well as it could. Keep documenting everything just in case she violates, but hopefully this is the end of it. We go home. I pick up Liam from school. Danielle makes dinner. We eat at the kitchen table, and for the first time in 2 months, the conversation isn't about Chloe or the Chen family or what might happen next. Liam talks about a project he's doing on butterflies. Danielle mentions that she's thinking about signing up for a pottery class.
I tell them about the new project starting at work next month. It feels normal. It feels like our life before all this started. 3 weeks pass, a month, 2 months, no contact from Chloe, no violations of the restraining order. The Facebook posts about us have been deleted. Our jobs haven't received any more complaint emails. Liam hasn't been approached at school. Life goes back to normal slowly, like water filling a glass. The cameras stay up around the house, but we check them less frequently. Danielle takes that pottery class and makes some truly terrible bowls that we display on the shelf anyway, because she's proud of them. I coach Liam's soccer team in the spring. We go to the same grocery store and use the self-checkout without incident. 6 months after the restraining order, I see Mrs. Chen at the grocery store, actually. Different location than where the original incident happened. She's in the produce section squeezing avocados. She sees me at the same time I see her. For a second, we just make eye contact. Then she looks away and moves to a different aisle. I grab my tomatoes and head to checkout. Use the regular lane this time, even though the self-checkout is open. Some patterns are hard to break. At home that evening, I tell Danielle about seeing Mrs. Chen. How'd that feel? Weird? Anticlimactic. I thought I'd feel something, but I just felt tired. Think she'll start anything again? No. She looked like she wanted to be anywhere else. I think they finally moved on. Good. And that's pretty much where it ended. Not with a bang, but with 2 people making eye contact in a produce section and then going their separate ways. We still live in the same house. Danielle still works at County General. Liam's in 3rd grade now and doesn't remember most of the drama from when he was 7. The cameras are still up, but mostly they just record squirrels and the occasional delivery driver. Sometimes I think about that day at the grocery store, how Danielle scanned one item onto their machine as a small act of petty revenge, and it spiraled into months of harassment and legal battles. Was it worth it? I don't know. Part of me wishes she'd just let them cut the line and gone about her day. But another part of me is glad she stood up for herself and our kid when 2 entitled people decided the rules didn't apply to them. Because here's the thing, if you let people push you around, they'll keep doing it. They'll keep cutting lines and taking advantage and acting like the world owes them special treatment. And maybe most of the time it's easier to just let it slide. But every once in a while you have to draw a line and say no. Not today, not to me. The consequences of standing up for yourself can be exhausting and frustrating and way bigger than you ever expected. But the alternative is teaching your kid that it's okay to let people walk all over you. That being polite matters more than having self-respect. That keeping the peace is worth losing your dignity. I don't think Danielle was wrong for what she did. The couple was wrong for cutting the line. Chloe was wrong for how she responded. Mrs. Chen was wrong for involving a 7-year-old in adult drama.
And all of them were wrong for thinking they could harass us into apologizing for not letting them be rude without consequences. Last I heard through the grapevine, Chloe moved out of state. Someone said she went to Arizona to live with other family. Vincent I see occasionally around town. We don't talk, but we nod at each other like two people who survived the same weird war. Mrs. Chen still lives in the area, but we don't cross paths much. The restraining order is still in effect for another year. After that, it expires, and technically they could contact us again, but I don't think they will. Some lessons you only need to learn once. Danielle's thinking about finding a new grocery store, though. Not because she's scared or anything, just because every time we go to that one, she remembers that day, and it puts her in a bad mood. Can't say I blame her. Some places carry baggage even after the situation's resolved. Our son asked me last week if we were heroes for standing up to bullies. I told him no, we're just people who didn't want to be pushed around. Heroes is too big a word for what happened. We're just a family who had to deal with some difficult people and came out the other side mostly intact. The milk that started it all, we drank it with cereal the next morning. Tasted perfectly normal. No magical properties. Just regular 2% from the dairy section. Sometimes the things that change your life are the most ordinary things imaginable. We still use self-checkout. Still go to grocery stores. Still live our regular lives. Because that's what you do. You don't let the Chloes of the world make you change who you are or how you move through the world. You document what needs documenting. You stand up when you need to stand up. And then you go home and make dinner and help with homework and live your actual life. That's what we did. That's what we're still doing. And honestly, that's enough. Except it wasn't the end. Not really. About 8 months after the restraining order got issued, Danielle comes home from work, looking pale. She sets her bag down on the counter and just stands there. What's wrong? Chloe's back. My heart drops. What do you mean back? She moved to Arizona. Apparently not permanently. She's working at County General again. Different department. I saw her in the cafeteria today. That violates the restraining order. She's not supposed to be near you. Technically, she's allowed to work at the same hospital. The order says no contact, but it doesn't say she can't work in the same building. It's a huge hospital, 3,000 employees. Did she see you? Yeah. We made eye contact across the room. She didn't come over or anything, but she smiled at me. This weird little smile like she knows something I don't. I call Joel the next morning. He confirms what Danielle said. The restraining order prevents direct contact, but it doesn't prevent Chloe from working at the same place as long as she maintains distance. Has she approached your wife or communicated with her in any way? No. Then legally, she's not violating anything. Your wife should document any encounters, even just seeing each other. If Chloe initiates any contact, that's a violation. But working in the same building isn't enough. For the next few weeks, Danielle's on edge every shift. She sees Chloe occasionally in the hallways or the parking garage. Never close, never speaking, just there. A presence, a reminder. Liam asks why Mom seems stressed lately. We tell him it's just busy at work. Another lie that feels necessary. Then one Tuesday in late November, Danielle gets called into her supervisor's office. She tells me about it that night after Liam's asleep. Someone filed a complaint saying I've been creating a hostile work environment for a newer employee. Said I've been staring at her, following her around the hospital, making her feel unsafe. Chloe. Has to be. My supervisor didn't say who made the complaint. It's supposed to be anonymous. But who else would it be? What did you tell them? The truth. That I haven't been following anyone. That I've been avoiding certain areas specifically because I don't want any contact with Chloe. My supervisor seemed to believe me, but she has to investigate any complaint. She's interviewing other staff members who've worked with both of us. This is insane. She's using the hospital's own HR process to harass you. And it's working. I'm stressed every shift wondering if she's gonna make another complaint. If she's gonna twist something innocent into evidence that I'm targeting her. The investigation takes 2 weeks. During that time, 3 of Danielle's co-workers give statements saying they've never seen Danielle behave inappropriately toward anyone. That she's professional and kind, and if anything, she seems to avoid the environmental services staff on certain floors. The complaint gets dismissed as unfounded, but the damage is done. Danielle's reputation took a hit just from being investigated. Some people heard there was a complaint and that's all they remember. The fact that it was baseless doesn't spread as fast as the initial rumor. 2 days after the complaint gets dismissed, our car gets keyed in the hospital parking garage. Long, deep scratches down both sides. Security footage shows someone in scrubs and a surgical mask walking past our car around 3 in the morning when Danielle's shift ended. Can't see their face. Can't identify them. Could be anyone. We file a police report. Add it to the ever-growing file we have on Chloe. But without proof, it's just another incident. She's smarter this time.
Joel says when we meet with him. She's learned from the restraining order hearing. She's being more careful, not leaving evidence. So we just have to live like this? Document everything. Every sighting, every incident, every complaint she makes. Build a pattern. If she violates the order directly, we can get her arrested. But this passive-aggressive stuff is harder to prove. Danielle starts taking different routes through the hospital. Changes which entrance she uses. Parks in different areas. It's exhausting having to constantly think 3 steps ahead just to avoid someone who's supposed to be avoiding you. Then, right before Christmas, Liam comes home from school with a note from his teacher. Can we schedule a parent-teacher conference? Nothing urgent, but some things to discuss. We go in the next day. Liam's teacher, Mrs. Peterson, is this sweet woman in her 50s who's been teaching forever. She looks uncomfortable.
Thank you for coming in. I wanted to talk to you about some things Liam's been saying in class. What kind of things? He's been telling other students that his family has enemies, that bad people are trying to hurt his mom. He's been acting anxious during recess, watching the parking lot like he's expecting something to happen. Yesterday, he asked me if teachers are allowed to stop strangers from taking kids. Danielle closes her eyes. We've been dealing with a harassment situation. We thought we were keeping it away from him. Kids pick up on more than we think. Has something happened recently that might have triggered this anxiety? We explain about Chloe working at the hospital again. The keyed car, the complaint, how Danielle's been stressed and Liam's smart enough to notice. Mrs. Peterson nods. I think it would help if you talk to him directly. Age-appropriate but honest. Kids do better when they understand what's happening rather than imagining worst-case scenarios. That night, we sit Liam down. Tell him that yes, we're dealing with someone who's being difficult, but we have lawyers and police who know about it. That he's safe. That school is safe. That we're handling it. Is the lady from the grocery store still mad? Yeah, buddy, she is. Because mom scanned the milk? Because she doesn't want to take responsibility for her own behavior, so she's blaming us instead. That's stupid. It is. But sometimes people are stupid, and we can't control that. We can only control how we respond. He thinks about this. Are we going to have to move? No, this is our home. We're not leaving because someone wants us to. He seems satisfied with that. Goes back to his room to play video games, but I can see it in his eyes. He's carrying this now, too. This 8-year-old kid who just wanted to get cereal with his mom is now dealing with the aftermath of standing up to bullies. Christmas comes and goes. We try to make it normal, put up lights, bake cookies, watch the same movies we watch every year. But there's this undercurrent of tension. Danielle jumps every time her phone rings. I find myself checking the cameras constantly, even though nothing's happened in weeks. January brings a cold snap. Single-digit temperatures. Everything frozen and dead. I'm scraping ice off my windshield before work when Mr. Patel comes out of his house. Hey, wanted to give you a heads up. I saw a car parked across from your house around 2 a.m. last night. Sat there for maybe 20 minutes with the engine running, then left. Could you see who it was? Too dark. But it wasn't one of the neighbors' cars. I know all the vehicles on this street. This was something else. Thought you should know. I check his security footage. Sure enough, there's a car. Can't make out the model or plate in the darkness. Just headlights pointing at our house for 20 minutes. Then it drives away. I send the footage to Joel and file another police report. The officer who takes the report looks tired. I'm sure he's seen the file by now. Knows we're those people who keep calling about harassment. We'll increase patrols in your neighborhood when possible. But without a clear violation of the restraining order, there's not much else we can do. Someone is stalking my family. I understand your concern. Keep documenting everything. If you can get a clear photo of the person or vehicle, that gives us more to work with. That night, I install another camera aimed at the street. Higher resolution, night vision. If that car comes back, I want to see who's in it. It comes back 3 more times over the next 2 weeks. Always between 2 and 4 in the morning. Always parks in slightly different spots. Never stays longer than 30 minutes. The new camera catches it, but the license plate is covered with mud or something. Deliberate. Whoever this is knows about the cameras now. Danielle stops sleeping well. I hear her moving around the house at night, checking locks and windows. During the day, she's exhausted. Her supervisor at work notices and pulls her aside to ask if everything's okay at home. Danielle tells her the basics. The supervisor is sympathetic, but there's nothing she can do. This is happening outside of work. February comes. Liam's 9th birthday. We throw him a party at one of those trampoline places. Invite his whole class. It's loud and chaotic, and for a few hours we forget about everything else. We're just parents watching their kid jump around with his friends and eat too much cake. On the drive home, Liam falls asleep in the back seat, exhausted from jumping. Danielle looks over at me. I've been thinking about something. What's that? What if we did move?
We talked about this. We're not letting her run us out of our home.
I know what we said, but look at us. We're installing cameras. We're not sleeping. Liam's anxious at school. Is this really better than just starting fresh somewhere else? If we move, she wins. She gets exactly what she wanted. Does that matter? If it means we get our peace back? I don't have a good answer. Part of me agrees with her. The practical part that just wants this to be over. But there's another part, the stubborn part, that refuses to give Chloe the satisfaction. We table the conversation, but it sits there between us. This question of whether standing your ground is worth the cost. 2 weeks later, I'm at work when I get a call from Danielle. She's crying so hard I can barely understand her. What happened? Are you okay? Is Liam okay? Someone broke into the house. I leave work immediately. Run 2 red lights getting home. There are police cars in our driveway. Danielle's sitting on the front steps wrapped in a blanket even though it's 40 degrees out. I run up to her. She collapses into my arms. I came home for lunch like I always do on Wednesdays. The back door was open. Someone had broken the glass and reached through to unlock it. What did they take? That's the thing. Nothing. They didn't take anything. They just destroyed stuff. A police officer walks me through the house. It's like a tornado went through. Every drawer dumped out. Couch cushions slashed. Family photos pulled off the walls and smashed. In Liam's room, his stuffed animals are torn apart, stuffing everywhere. In our room, someone spray-painted "You deserve this" across the wall. We're processing it as a breaking and entering, collecting what evidence we can, the officer says.
But I have to be honest with you. Without clear signs of who did this, it's gonna be hard to prove. We know who did this. Knowing and proving are different things. They dust for prints, take photos of everything, ask if we have any enemies. I tell them about Chloe, about the restraining order, about everything. The officer writes it all down, but his expression tells me he's not optimistic. Where's Liam? I asked Danielle. Still at school. I didn't want to bring him home to see this. We call my sister Anna. She drives 3 hours to pick up Liam from school and take him to her place for a few days. We spend the rest of the day cleaning, throwing away what can't be fixed, trying to put our home back together. That night we stay at a hotel. Can't sleep in the house with the back door broken. A glass repair company is coming tomorrow. But even after it's fixed, I don't know if I can sleep there knowing someone was inside, touching our things, destroying what we've built. Danielle lies in the hotel bed staring at the ceiling. We're moving. Okay. I mean it this time. I can't do this anymore. I can't live looking over my shoulder. I can't put Liam through this. I know. You're not going to argue? No. You're right. We tried. We stood our ground. But it's not worth this. She rolls over and cries into the pillow. I hold her until she falls asleep. Then I lie there in the dark of a generic hotel room thinking about how we got here. All because someone cut in line at a grocery store. All because we didn't just let it go. All because standing up for yourself sometimes costs more than staying silent. The next morning, Joel calls. I tell him about the break-in. File for an emergency modification of the restraining order. This is clear escalation even if we can't prove it was Chloe directly. The judge needs to know. We're back in court 2 days later. Different judge this time. Younger guy who looks like he'd rather be anywhere else. Joel presents the break-in photos. The spray-painted message. The pattern of harassment over the past year. Chloe's not there. Her lawyer says she was never formally notified of this hearing, so her absence isn't a violation. He argues there's no proof his client was involved in the break-in, that the Holloways have other enemies who could have done this. What other enemies? The judge asks me. We don't have any. This is the only person who's had an issue with us. That you know of. Joel jumps in. Your Honor, the pattern here is clear. Since Chloe Chen returned to the area, there's been an escalation. The work complaints, the keyed car, the car sitting outside their home. Now this break-in with a message that directly references deserving punishment. This is targeted harassment. The judge reviews the file, flips through pages of documentation. Finally, he looks up. I'm going to modify the restraining order to include a GPS monitoring requirement for Miss Chen. If she violates the stay-away distance, we'll know immediately. I'm also ordering a psychiatric evaluation to determine if she poses a continued threat. Chloe's lawyer objects, says this is excessive. The judge overrules him. Counsel, your client has had multiple opportunities to move on with her life. Instead, there's a consistent pattern of behavior targeting the same family. Either she's responsible for this harassment, or she's the unluckiest person in the world, and bad things keep happening near the Holloways that make her look guilty. I'm inclined to believe the former. Your client will comply with GPS monitoring or face jail time for contempt. We leave the courthouse feeling like maybe, finally, something will change. The GPS monitoring means Chloe can't come near our house or our jobs without triggering an alert. If she does, she goes straight to jail. That night, I pick up Liam from Anna's house. He's quiet on the drive home, hasn't asked about the break-in. Anna said she told him someone broke in, but that everything's okay now, that the police are handling it. When we pull into our driveway, he stays in the car. Is it safe now? Yeah, buddy. The back door's fixed. We added extra locks, and the police are watching our house more now. But what if they come back? They won't. We made sure of that. He gets out slowly, walks into the house like he's entering a strange place, goes straight to his room, and closes the door. Danielle and I look at each other. We're losing him to this. Our happy, energetic kid is turning into someone who's scared in his own home. That's when I know we're really leaving. Not eventually. Soon. We put the house on the market 3 weeks later. Price it to sell fast. We'll take a loss if we have to. We just need out. Need a fresh start somewhere Chloe can't find us. Danielle gives her notice at County General. 2 months. Her supervisor is disappointed but understanding. She helps Danielle find a position at a hospital 2 states over. Smaller facility, less pay, but far enough that Chloe can't just show up. I apply to jobs in the same area, get 3 interviews, accept an offer that's basically lateral to what I have now. We're not moving up in the world, but we're moving away from this nightmare. Liam's the hardest part. He cries when we tell him, says he doesn't want to leave his friends, his school, his soccer team. We explain that sometimes you have to make hard choices for the family's safety, that he'll make new friends, that we'll visit, that he can video chat with his old friends whenever he wants. He accepts it, but I can see the resentment building. He's 9 years old and his life is getting uprooted because of something that happened when he was 7, something he barely remembers. All he knows is that some lady his mom had a problem with is making them move. The house sells in 6 days. A young couple with a baby. They love the neighborhood. We don't tell them about the harassment, about the break-in, about the cameras we installed. We just smile and sign the papers and take their money. Packing up 10 years of life in one house is surreal. Every room holds memories. Liam's first steps in the living room, the kitchen where we cooked thousands of meals, the bedroom where we'd lie awake talking about our dreams for the future. Now we're packing it all into boxes and leaving. Our last week in town, we throw a goodbye party. Small, just close friends and neighbors. Mr. Patel brings Indian food. Stephen and his wife bring wine. Liam's friends come over to play one last time. Everyone asks where we're moving. We're vague. Say we got job opportunities. They don't need to know we're running, that we're letting someone who cut in line at a grocery store drive us out of our home and our lives. The day before we move, Danielle goes to her last shift at County General. Her co-workers throw her a party in the break room. Cake, cards, promises to stay in touch. She comes home with tears in her eyes. Did you see Chloe? Yeah. She was in the hallway watching the party through the window, just standing there, smiling. She knows we're leaving. Has to. The hospital's not that big. Word travels. That night, we do a final walkthrough of the house. Every room empty. Our voices echo. Liam runs from room to room like he's trying to memorize it. Danielle holds my hand and we stand in the living room where this all started, where she came home that day from the grocery store and told me about the couple who cut in line. Do you regret it? I ask. Scanning the milk? Yeah. She thinks for a long time. Ask me again in a year. The moving truck comes at 7 a.m. 3 guys load everything in 4 hours. We follow in our car with what didn't fit in the truck. Liam watches his house get smaller in the side mirror until we turn the corner and it disappears. We drive 12 hours. Stop at a hotel halfway. Liam's asleep before we even check in. Danielle and I lie in another generic hotel room, our second home in the last few months. You think she'll try to find us? Probably, but we didn't leave a forwarding address. Didn't tell anyone but family where we're going exactly. And with the GPS monitoring, she can't leave the county without violating the restraining order. What if she violates it? Then she goes to jail, and we'll finally be free. We get to our new place the next afternoon. It's a rental. Small house in a suburb of a city we've never been to. The neighborhood's nice, quiet. The kind of place where people mind their own business. Exactly what we need. Liam hates it immediately. Says his room is too small. Says the backyard is boring. Says he wants to go home. We tell him this is home now. He slams his door and doesn't come out for dinner. The first month is hard. Danielle starts her new job and comes home exhausted. Different systems, different protocols, having to prove herself all over again. I start my new job and immediately get thrown into a project that's behind schedule. Working late, stressed, not the fresh start we imagined.
Liam starts at his new school and gets into a fight the first week. Some kid made fun of his shoes. Liam pushed him. The school calls us in for a meeting. Danielle and I sit across from a principal we don't know in a school we didn't choose and try to explain that our son isn't usually like this, that he's been through a lot, that he's adjusting. The principal is understanding but firm. One more incident and there'll be consequences. Liam sits between us looking at his feet. On the drive home, he finally breaks. I hate it here. I hate my new school. I hate that we moved. It's not fair. I know it's not fair, Danielle says, but this is where we are. We have to make the best of it. Why? Why did that lady get to make us leave? Why does she win? Neither of us has a good answer. That night after Liam's asleep, Danielle and I talk about whether we made the right choice. Whether standing our ground until we had to run was better than just running from the beginning. Whether teaching our son to stand up for himself was worth teaching him that sometimes bullies win anyway. We don't come to any conclusions. Just lie there in a house that doesn't feel like home yet, in a city we don't know, with a kid who resents us for bringing him here. 2 months in, things start to improve. Slowly. Liam makes a friend at school, a kid named Trevor who lives 3 houses down. They start hanging out after school, riding bikes, playing video games. One day, Liam comes home smiling for the first time since we moved, says Trevor invited him to his birthday party. Danielle settles into her new job, makes friends with some of the other nurses. They go out for drinks after shifts. She comes home lighter, less tense. Still checks her phone obsessively, but slowly she's starting to relax. My job evens out. The crazy project finishes. I get assigned to something more manageable. Start having lunch with some coworkers. Not friends yet, but friendly. It's something. We're rebuilding, piece by piece, day by day. It's not the life we had, but it's a life, and slowly it's becoming ours. 3 months after we move, I get a call from Joel. Chloe violated the restraining order, got caught on GPS monitoring coming within 300 feet of our old house. She told the police she was just driving through the neighborhood. They arrested her anyway. She spent 2 days in jail before her mom bailed her out. The judge is considering extending the restraining order and increasing the penalty for future violations, Joel says. This helps your case if she ever tries to find you. She doesn't know where we are. Let's keep it that way. 4 months in, Danielle comes home from work and tells me she's pregnant. We weren't not trying. It just happened. We stand in our kitchen in this rental house in this new city and try to figure out what we feel about bringing another kid into this mess. It's not a mess anymore, Danielle says. It's our life. Our new life. And maybe this is exactly what we need. Something good. Something that's just ours and has nothing to do with what happened back there. She's right. We tell Liam that night. He's skeptical at first. Asks if this means we're staying here for real. We tell him yes. This is home now. He thinks about it and then says, okay. Says he'll teach the baby how to ride a bike when they're old enough. It's the first time he's talked about the future in this place. The first time he's accepted that we're not going back. 6 months after we move, I realize I haven't thought about Chloe in a week. Then 2 weeks. Then a month. She's becoming a memory, a story we'll tell. The crazy lady who couldn't let go of a grocery store incident and turned our lives upside down until we had to rebuild somewhere else. Liam's doing better in school. Made the soccer team. Comes home talking about plays and goals and his new friends. He still misses his old life sometimes. We all do. But he's adjusting. He's surviving. He's going to be okay. Danielle's pregnancy is going well. We're having a girl. We pick out a name together. Iris. Nothing to do with anyone from our past. Just a name we both like. A fresh start. 8 months after we move, I get a notification on my phone. A local news article from back home. Woman arrested for violating restraining order multiple times. I click on it even though I know I shouldn't. It's Chloe. She got caught 3 more times trying to get near our old house. The new owners called the police. She's facing jail time now. Real jail time. Not just a few days. I show Danielle. She reads it and sets her phone down. Do you feel bad for her? No. Should I? I don't know. She destroyed her own life over nothing. That's kind of sad. She destroyed our lives too. Or tried to. I don't have sympathy left. We don't talk about it again. Some people don't deserve your emotional energy, even pity. 10 months after we move, Iris is born. 7 pounds, 3 ounces. Healthy. Perfect. Liam holds her in the hospital and says she's weird looking, but okay. We take her home to our rental house that's starting to feel less like a rental and more like where we live. Life is different now. We're different. We lock our doors more carefully. We're cautious about what we share online. We don't tell people the story of why we moved unless we really trust them. And even then, we downplay it, make it sound less dramatic than it was.
But we're here. We survived. We built something new out of the wreckage of what we lost. And maybe that's enough. A year after we move, I'm at the grocery store. Different chain than the one back home. I'm at the self-checkout with a cart full of stuff for Iris. Diapers, formula, the works. There's a line. I'm waiting my turn. The machine opens up, and I'm about to step forward when someone cuts in front of me. Just walks right past me like I'm not there. Some teenager with headphones in. Doesn't even notice. I stand there for a second. Feel that familiar anger rising. That instinct to call them out. To stand up for myself. To not let people walk all over me. Then I look at my cart full of baby supplies. Think about Danielle at home with Iris and Liam. Think about everything we've built in this new place. Everything we almost lost. And I let it go. I just let the kid cut in front of me. Wait for the next machine. Check out. Leave. On the drive home, I think about what that means. Did I grow? Did I learn something? Or did Chloe win after all? Did she teach me that standing up for yourself isn't worth it? I don't have an answer. Maybe there isn't one. Maybe sometimes you stand up and sometimes you let things go, and the trick is knowing which is which. Maybe I got it wrong at the grocery store that day with Danielle. Or maybe I got it right and just paid a higher price than expected. Life isn't a story where things wrap up neatly, where you learn clear lessons and grow in obvious ways. Sometimes you just survive. You adjust. You move forward because staying stuck isn't an option. That's where we are. Moving forward. Building our new normal. And if that kid at the grocery store was a test, I don't know if I passed or failed. I just know I'm home now with my family, and that's what matters. 2 years after we move, we buy a house. Not a rental. An actual house that's ours. Different neighborhood. Better schools for Liam. A backyard big enough for Iris to play in when she's older. We paint the walls colors we choose. Hang pictures of our new life. Fill it with furniture we pick out together. It's smaller than the house we left, but it's ours in a way that place never could be again. Every room here is just ours. No bad memories, no looking over our shoulders. Liam's in middle school now, playing soccer year-round. Has a solid group of friends. Still talks to his friends from back home sometimes, but less frequently. Life moves on. Kids adapt faster than adults. Danielle's been at her new job for 2 years. Got promoted to charge nurse, making almost what she made before. Says she likes the team better anyway. Smaller, more personal. I'm settling into my job. Not what I thought I'd be doing at this point in my life, but it pays the bills. Gives me time with my family. That's what matters. Iris is walking now, getting into everything. She doesn't know anything about what happened before she was born. To her, this is just life, just home. And maybe that's the gift of what happened. She gets to grow up without that weight. Last month, I got a letter forwarded from our old address. Mr. Patel sent it. He's good about forwarding the occasional important mail. This one was from the county courthouse. Chloe was sentenced to 18 months in jail for repeated restraining order violations. Won't be eligible for parole for at least a year. I showed Danielle the letter. We sat at our kitchen table in our new house with Iris banging a spoon on her high chair tray and Liam doing homework at the counter. It's really over, Danielle said. Yeah, how do you feel? I don't know. Empty? Relieved? I thought I'd feel something bigger when this finally ended. Me too. We threw the letter away, didn't frame it, didn't celebrate. Just threw it away and went back to our evening routine. Dinner, homework, bath time, bed. The normal things that make up a life, because that's what we have now. A normal life, or as normal as it can be after everything. We're not looking over our shoulders anymore, not jumping at every car that drives by, not wondering if today's the day something else happens. We're just living, and that's more than we had 2 years ago. Sometimes Liam asks about the old house, what happened to it, if we'll ever go back to visit. We tell him probably not. That chapter's closed. We're writing new ones now. He accepts it. Kids are resilient like that. He doesn't remember most of the bad parts anyway. Just remembers moving and being mad about it. Now he's got friends here, a life here. This is home. 3 years after we move, I'm putting Iris to bed when she asks me to tell her a story. I start making one up about a princess and a dragon. Halfway through, she stops me. Not that kind. A real story. About when you were little. So I tell her about growing up. About meeting her mom. About Liam being born. Safe stories. Good memories. Things that have nothing to do with grocery stores or restraining orders or moving in the middle of the night to escape harassment. That's what I want her to know. The good parts. The love. The family. Not the hard things we survived to get here. When she finally falls asleep, I go downstairs. Danielle's on the couch, scrolling her phone. I sit next to her. Remember that grocery store? She looks up. Which one? You know which one.
Yeah, I remember. Do you regret it? Really? She sets her phone down, thinks for a long minute, longer than when I asked before we moved. No, I don't regret standing up for myself. I regret that we met someone who couldn't handle being called out. I regret that it spiraled. I regret what it put Liam through. But I don't regret the actual moment, you know what I mean? Yeah, I do. Because here's the truth. You can't control how other people respond. You can only control your own actions. Danielle stood up for herself and our son. That's not wrong. What happened after wasn't her fault. Chloe made choices. To harass us. To escalate. To violate restraining orders. To throw away her own life because she couldn't let go of being held accountable for cutting in line. Those were her choices, not ours. We made our choices too. To document everything. To get lawyers involved. To eventually leave. Those were the cards we were dealt, and we played them the best we could. 3 years later, we're here. Different city, different house, different life, but together, safe, moving forward. And that gallon of milk that started it all? Long gone. Probably drank it 3 years ago with cereal and thought nothing of it, just like it should be. Sometimes the most ordinary things lead to the most extraordinary consequences. But eventually, if you're lucky, they fade back into being ordinary again. That's where we are. Everything's ordinary now. Beautifully, blessedly ordinary. And after everything we went through to get here, ordinary is exactly what we need. 4 years after we move, something unexpected happens. I'm at work when I get a Facebook friend request. I don't recognize the name at first. Vincent Reyes. Then I see the profile picture and realize it's Vincent from the grocery store. Chloe's ex-boyfriend. I sit there staring at the request for a good 5 minutes before accepting it. Immediately, a message pops up. Hey man, I know this is random, hoping you're doing okay, can we talk? I tell Danielle about it that night. She's immediately suspicious. What does he want? No idea. He just asked if we could talk. This could be Chloe using his account. She's still in jail. She gets out in 3 months. Maybe she's planning something. We debate whether to respond. Finally decide that I'll talk to him on a video call. That way we know it's really him and not Chloe catfishing us. The call happens 2 days later. Vincent answers and he looks rough, older, tired, thinner than I remember. Thanks for agreeing to talk. I wasn't sure you would. What's this about? He takes a breath. I wanted to apologize again. For real this time. And to warn you about something. Warn us? Chloe gets out next month. They reduced her sentence for good behavior or whatever. And I've been talking to some mutual friends. She's already planning to find you guys once she's out. My heart sinks. How? We didn't leave a forwarding address. Your sister, Anna? Chloe found her Facebook. Started going through her friends list and photos. She figured out what city you're in based on some restaurant tags and location check-ins. Son of a bitch. Yeah, I thought you should know. Anna's profile isn't private. Chloe's been obsessing over it for months, apparently. Has the whole thing printed out and marked up. How do you know all this? Her cellmate wrote to me. Long story. But basically, Chloe's been talking non-stop about what she's gonna do when she gets out. The cellmate got worried enough to reach out. What's she planning? I don't know specifics, but it's not good. The cellmate said Chloe talks about you guys constantly. Blames you for everything. The job, the jail time, her mom not talking to her anymore, everything. She's had nothing to do for 18 months except sit in a cell and build up resentment. After the call, I immediately contact Joel. He files for an extension of the restraining order based on the credible threat. Contacts the parole board, does everything legally possible. But there are limits. Chloe served her time. Once she's out, she's out. We have another family meeting. Liam's 12 now, old enough to understand. Iris is almost 4. Too young to really get it, but she picks up on the tension. We're not moving again, Liam says immediately. I'm not leaving my friends. We're not moving, I assure him. But we need to be careful. Lock doors. Tell us if you see anyone following you, that kind of thing. This is so stupid. She's a grown woman acting like a crazy person over milk. He's not wrong. We install a new security system. Better cameras. Alarms on all the doors and windows. I teach Liam what to do if Chloe approaches him. Don't engage. Get to a safe place. Call us immediately. It feels like we're back where we started. 4 years of rebuilding and 1 phone call puts us right back in survival mode. Danielle makes her social media completely private. I do the same. We contact Anna and explain what's happening. She feels terrible. I had no idea. I'll delete my Facebook entirely. Don't. Just make it private and untag yourself from any photos that show landmarks or locations. Anna does more than that. She goes through 4 years of posts and removes anything that could identify where we live. But the damage is done. Chloe already has the information. 3 weeks later, Chloe is released.
We get the notification from Victim Services. She's out, required to stay in her home county, can't leave the state, has to check in with her parole officer weekly. Restraining order still in effect with a 500-yard minimum distance. The first week passes. Nothing happens. Then the second week. Still nothing.
Maybe she moved on, Danielle says hopefully. Maybe jail actually taught her something. I want to believe that. But I've learned not to underestimate people's capacity to hold grudges. Week 3, Liam comes home from school upset. Says some woman was sitting in a car near the bus stop, watching the kids get off. School security noticed and asked her to leave. She did. But Liam swears it looked like Chloe from the photos he saw years ago. We contact the school. They review their security footage. The woman's car is clearly visible, but her face isn't. Generic sedan. Could be anyone. Was it her? Danielle asks Liam that night. I don't know. I was 7 when I saw her. I barely remember what she looks like, but something felt wrong. Week 4, one of Danielle's co-workers mentioned seeing someone asking about her in the hospital parking lot.
Described as a woman in her mid-30s, wanted to know what shifts Danielle worked. The co-worker didn't tell her anything. Thought it was weird, though. We file a police report. Without proof it's Chloe, there's not much they can do. But it's documented. Week 5, I'm pretty sure someone followed me home from work. Black sedan. Stayed 3 cars back the whole way. Could be paranoia. Could be real. I can't tell anymore. This is what she wants. Chloe can't physically hurt us without going back to jail. But she can make us feel unsafe. Make us question everything. Make us live in fear. And it's working. Danielle stops going grocery shopping alone. I start varying my route to work. Liam gets picked up from school instead of taking the bus. We're adapting our entire lives again around the possibility that Chloe might be watching. 6 weeks after her release, we get confirmation. A letter arrives at our house, no return address. Inside is a single photo. It's our new house, taken from across the street. On the back, someone wrote, "Found you." We take it to the police immediately. They dust for prints. Nothing. The envelope was mailed from a city 2 hours away. Not where Chloe lives. Could be her. Could be someone else. Joel files for another emergency order. This one to require Chloe to wear a GPS monitor again. Given the letter and the pattern of surveillance, the judge approves it. 2 days later, the police go to put the monitor on Chloe. She's not at her registered address. Her parole officer hasn't seen her in a week. She missed her check-in. She's in violation. A warrant goes out for her arrest. She's on the run now, and we have no idea where she is. This is worse than knowing she was in jail, worse than thinking she might be watching. Now she's out there somewhere with nothing to lose, a fugitive who blames us for her entire life falling apart. We consider moving again. But where? How many times do we uproot our lives? How many times do we let her win? Instead, we hire private security, an off-duty cop who parks outside our house overnight. It's expensive, cuts into our savings, but we can't sleep without it. Liam's angry all the time now. Angry at us for not protecting him better. Angry at Chloe for not letting this go. Angry at the world for being unfair. He gets into another fight at school. Suspended for 3 days. We try family therapy. The therapist is nice. Says we're dealing with trauma. That it's normal to struggle. Gives us coping strategies. None of it makes Chloe disappear, though. Iris has nightmares. Dreams about a bad lady coming to get her. She's 4 years old and she's afraid of someone she's never met because of tension she can feel in the house. This is what holding people accountable costs sometimes. This is the price of standing up for yourself. And I hate that I'm thinking this way. Hate that part of me wishes Danielle had just let them cut the line. That we'd gone on with our lives and never crossed paths with Chloe again. 2 months pass. Chloe's still missing. The police tell us she's probably left the state. That fugitives usually don't stick around. They're looking for her, but she's not a priority. No violent crimes, just parole violation and restraining order stuff. We're living in limbo, unable to move forward, unable to relax, just existing day to day, waiting for something to happen. Then one night, I'm putting Iris to bed when I hear the security alarm go off downstairs. The back door sensor. Someone's trying to get in. I grab Iris and run to Liam's room. Danielle's already there with him. We lock the door. I call 911 while Danielle holds the kids. Through the phone, I can hear the 911 operator. Police are on their way. Stay in the locked room. Don't confront the intruder. We hear footsteps downstairs. Someone walking through our house, opening doors, searching. Then the footsteps come up the stairs. Liam's gripping a baseball bat. 12 years old, ready to defend his family. I should feel proud. Instead, I feel sick that this is his reality. The footsteps stop outside our door. The handle jiggles, locked. Then a voice.
I know you're in there. I just want to talk. It's Chloe. The police are coming, I shout through the door. You need to leave. I did my time. I served 18 months because of you. Because of a fucking gallon of milk. Do you understand what you took from me? You took it from yourself, Danielle yells back. We didn't make you harass us. We didn't make you violate the restraining order. You did that. You could have just apologized at the store, just said sorry, and I would have let it go. But you had to be righteous. Had to prove a point. And it cost me everything. You cut in line. You were rude. We called you out. That's it. Everything after was your choice. The handle jiggles harder. Open the door. No. Open the fucking door. In the distance, sirens. Getting closer. Chloe hears them too. This isn't over. You don't get to ruin my life and then hide. The footsteps retreat. Running down the stairs. We hear the back door open. Then silence. 2 minutes later, police flood the house. They search every room. She's gone. Out the back door. Into the night. They find her car parked 3 blocks away. Abandoned. Inside, they find maps to our house. Photos of our family. Pages of handwritten notes detailing our routines. The manhunt intensifies. Her face is all over the local news. Tips come in, but none lead anywhere. It's like she vanished. That night, none of us sleep. We stay in the living room together. Security guard outside. Police patrolling the neighborhood. But we know she could come back. Any time. Any day. The next morning, we make the decision. We're moving again. Not because we want to, because we have to. Because at some point, you have to choose survival over principle. Liam doesn't even argue this time. Just nods and starts packing. He understands now in a way he couldn't before. This isn't about being fair or standing your ground. This is about safety. We're gone in 2 weeks. Don't tell anyone where we're going except Joel and our immediate family. Don't post on social media. Don't leave any trail. The house we rented is across the country. Different time zone, different everything. We homeschool Liam for the rest of the year, so there's no school records. Danielle finds work at a private clinic under her maiden name. I work remotely. We're ghosts now. Off the grid as much as modern life allows. 3 months after we disappear, Chloe is arrested in Nevada. She'd been living in her car, completely broke, completely lost. The police picked her up for shoplifting and ran her name. Outstanding warrants. She's extradited back. More jail time. This time they're talking years, not months. Breaking and entering, stalking, parole violation. It adds up. We get the notification from Victim Services. She's back in custody. Won't be eligible for release for at least 5 years. Maybe longer depending on sentencing. 5 years. Iris will be 9. Liam will be 17. We'll have lived more of our lives running from Chloe than we lived before meeting her. That's what I think about when people ask if it was worth it. If standing up to someone cutting in line was worth 5 years of fear and 2 moves and thousands of dollars in legal fees and security and therapy, I don't have an answer, because the question is wrong. It's not about worth, it's about principle. About teaching your kids that you don't let people disrespect you. About standing up even when it costs something. But it's also about knowing when to walk away, when to let things go, when to pick your battles. Danielle and I talk about this a lot now, in our new house that Chloe doesn't know about. In this new life we've built for the second time. If you could go back, I ask her one night, would you do it differently? If I knew then what I know now, yeah, I'd let them cut the line, buy their energy drinks and Hot Pockets and go home. It's not worth this. But if you didn't know, if it was just that moment, then I'd do the same thing. Because in that moment it was about respect, about not teaching our son that it's okay to let people push you around. Even though it led to this, because we couldn't have known. We're not fortune tellers. We just made the best choice we could with the information we had. That's the truth of it. You can't live your life afraid of worst-case scenarios. You have to make choices based on the moment you're in. Sometimes those choices have consequences you never imagined. Sometimes they spiral into something bigger and darker than you ever expected. But you still have to make them. You still have to stand up when something feels wrong. Even if standing up means eventually having to run. 7 months after Chloe's arrested again, she's sentenced. 8 years. With the previous violations and the breaking and entering and the stalking charges, the judge throws the book at her. Miss Chen, you had every opportunity to move forward with your life, the judge says. Instead, you became obsessed with revenge over a minor incident. You've spent years harassing this family, breaking into their homes, threatening their safety. This court has no sympathy. 8 years. Next time you get out, I suggest you use the prison counseling services to work through whatever is broken inside you that makes you think this behavior is acceptable. We watch the sentencing via video link from our new house.
When the gavel comes down, Danielle starts crying. Not sad crying. Relief crying. 8 years. Iris will be 12. Liam will be 20. Our kids will grow up without this shadow over them. That night, we let ourselves celebrate. Order pizza. Watch a movie. Let it feel real that this is finally over. But it's not really over. Not in the ways that matter. Liam's in therapy working through trust issues and anger management. Iris has anxiety about strangers. Danielle jumps at unexpected noises. I have nightmares about people breaking into our house. You can't go through years of harassment and come out unchanged. The scars are invisible, but they're there. In how we lock our doors, in how we monitor our kids, in how we think twice before standing up for ourselves in public. 5 years after we moved the second time, life is stable. We bought another house, put down roots, made friends who don't know our history, just know us as the family that keeps to themselves a little. That's careful about privacy. They think we're quirky. We're actually traumatized. But we're functional. We're surviving. We've built something good out of the ashes of what we lost. Liam's 17 now, about to graduate. He's applied to colleges across the country. Part of me wants him close. Part of me wants him far away from everything that happened. He doesn't remember most of the details anymore. Just knows that his childhood was marked by moving and fear and a woman who couldn't let go. Iris is 9, happy, resilient. She barely remembers the scary parts. Just remembers having a security guard for a while, thinking it was cool. Danielle and I are older, harder in some ways, softer in others. We've survived something together that most couples never face. It's made us strong, made us careful, made us appreciate the ordinary in ways we never did before. 6 years after sentencing, Chloe will be up for parole. She'll have served her time, might get out on good behavior. We don't think about it much. Can't live our lives on a countdown to when she might be free again. Joel says if she gets out, there will be strict parole conditions, counseling, GPS monitoring, any violation, and she goes back immediately. We've moved on, built protections. We'll be as ready as we can be. But honestly, I don't think she'll come after us again. 8 years in prison is a long time. Long enough to realize that holding on to anger destroys you from the inside. Long enough to maybe, finally, let go. Or maybe I'm naive. Maybe she'll get out and immediately start planning. Maybe this cycle never really ends. I choose to believe it does. I choose to believe that at some point even the most stubborn person realizes the cost is too high. That revenge isn't worth your freedom. That some battles aren't worth fighting. That's what I tell Liam when he asks about it. When he wants to know if that lady is ever going to leave us alone. I tell him that people eventually learn. That consequences have weight. That 8 years is a long time to think about your choices. I hope I'm right. The gallon of milk that started it all? I think about it sometimes. About how something so small spiraled into something so big. About chaos theory and butterfly effects, and how one moment can change everything. If Danielle hadn't looked down to shift the cereal, if the couple hadn't been in such a rush, if Chloe had just apologized instead of escalating, if any of a dozen small moments had gone differently, we'd still be in our first house. Liam would be graduating from his original school. We wouldn't have Iris, because she was only conceived after we moved. Our entire family tree would be different. I can't regret Iris. Can't regret the life we have now, even though it was born from trauma. Good things can come from bad situations. That's not toxic positivity. That's just truth. We're here. We're together. We're safe. That's more than we had 5 years ago. More than we had when Chloe was breaking into houses and stalking us and making us live in fear. Now we're just living. And that's everything. Last week I was at the grocery store. Different state, different chain, different everything. I was at self-checkout with a small load. Machine opened up and I stepped forward. Someone behind me said, "Finally, I've been waiting forever." I turned around. Young guy, early 20s, impatient. Looked at me like I was taking too long. I took a breath, scanned my items, paid, left. Didn't engage, didn't escalate, didn't make it into something. Sometimes standing up for yourself means knowing when to stand down, when to let the small things go, because you've already paid the price for the big things. I'm not sure that's growth. Might just be exhaustion. But it's where I am. Would I do it differently if I could go back? Every single day the answer changes. Some days I'm proud we stood up. Some days I wish we'd stayed quiet. Most days I'm just grateful we survived. That's the real ending. Not victory or defeat. Just survival. Just making it through to the other side with your family intact and your sanity mostly present. We won in that we're still here. We lost in all the ways that matter to the people we used to be. The scoreboard doesn't make sense. And there's no trophy at the end. There's just tomorrow, and the day after that, and the choice every single day to keep building, keep moving forward, keep living despite everything that tried to stop us. That's enough. That has to be enough, because what else is there?